Hello everybody, Tommyruin here, and as you're leveling up in Project Ascension, you may have noticed there are certain affixes which you can get on gear. And you might be wondering what they are. Well, these are random talents from any class that are enchanted onto your items, making certain abilities more powerful. And these can appear on green, blue or purple items. Now, you might be wondering why they happen, and this is a custom system that the Ascension team have put together and put into the game, and it means that there are so many more builds viable now because of this system. I mean, it makes some of the most worthless abilities possible, and it also buffs certain abilities so you can build your character in exactly the way you want to, because the talents will work and stack up to make it more viable. So if you just look here, I'm going to show you this character Bloodrush, who is a friend of mine, and he's allowed me to show you the power of his random enchants. Now, these are all focused around the ability Mangle, which has a base energy cost of 45 energy. Now, Feral Druids normally have 100 energy, so a 45 energy cost is pretty much half of the energy which you'll be spending on your abilities. Now, Feral Druids have an energy regeneration rate of 10 energy per second. So you cannot normally cast these Mangles very often, as you have to wait 4-5 seconds before you regenerate the energy which you've expended on that ability. So as you can see, Bloodrush has picked up many random enchants which reduce the energy cost of Mangle by a certain amount, and this stacks up quite considerably. So this means that the amount of Mangles he can cast is considerably increased, and not only has he got enchants which reduce the cost of Mangle, he's also got other ones which increase the damage of it. So it's not all based around reducing the cost, some of it is about increasing the damage. But as you can see, at the end of the gearing stage, he is at 19 energy per Mangle. Now, if you factor in the talents which also reduce the cost of Mangle, you end up with a base energy cost of 8 energy. Now, like I said earlier, you regenerate 10 energy per second in cat form, and guess what the global cooldown of Mangle is? Yes, 1 second. So you can infinitely spam Mangle as much as you like. Now, this might not be the best DPS increase. That is an insane factor, especially as most of those random enchants also reduce the energy cost of other abilities. So you're much more flexible as a cat, and you don't have to wait for those horrible downtimes as a Feral Druid. You may see people in trade chat looking for different items with random enchants on, and this is because they are building their spec around these enchants. I remember back in the day, there was a guy who was looking to increase the range of his ranged attacks, so he could be a long-range marksman hunter, which is a really cool class fantasy. You can snipe people from across the map. How cool is that? These random enchants allow that to be happening. Now, this means that when you hit the end game and you get yourself your best in slot items, the journey isn't over. It's an extra layer of gearing on top of gearing, and as I said in my random item forge video, which I'll link in the description, you can completely change the abilities on your item. So you can chance your arm and get yourself the perfect enchant on the perfect item and make your character complete. Now, obviously with anything in World of Warcraft, there are some good bits and some bad bits. Now, some of these random enchants are very strong. There's a mage crit percentage one, and it also increases the damage of your spells. Now, this random enchant is proving to be very strong at the moment, and most of the people who are doing top damage are wearing these enchants. But that doesn't mean that other things aren't viable. Bloodrush, who I linked earlier, was doing very highly in the Molten Core testing, and that surprised everyone, really, because no one really expects a Feral Druid to be doing that high damage in anything vanilla related. So it was quite good to see that the random enchants were really helping somebody push their damage up. Now, the other kind of downside to this system is the cost, and you've got to invest a serious amount of gold if you want to get the gear which you want, which is a bad thing because it's quite daunting thinking that you're going to have to spend all your gold on random enchants and you might not even get the one that you want. But it also adds that continuous sense of progression into the system, and it means that you're never going to really be complete because you could always roll onto something higher. Not only does that help keep people into the game as they're trying to increase their player power, but it also acts as a gold sink and removes a lot of gold from the economy, which is a good thing. So there is an aspect of RNG in this, and RNG is obviously good in a slight amount. So I'm not sure if the system needs as much RNG as it has already, because you get your item and it already has an enchant on it and you don't know what that enchant is. It's random, and then you can go to the random item forge and reforge another random item. You can get lucky, you can get very unlucky and never see the thing that you want. So maybe if there's a very expensive failsafe in the system, say you have the random enchant on an item which you don't need, that's around the same level and maybe even in the same slot, and you forge that together with the item that you want to keep and pay a hefty sum of gold, you then at least skip out the random aspect and save yourself that kind of extra gold. Now, I strongly recommend that you check out the random enchant spreadsheet, which is part of Life's main spreadsheets, and there you can find all of the random enchants which have been found up to this point. Now, in general, I really like this system, and as well as the classless aspect of this server, it is a big point for this server, because it means that not only can you choose what abilities you want to take and build your character around that, you can use these random enchants to really enforce that class fantasy which you're trying to portray in your builds. And that is the main thing which I really like about this server. You can make anything possible if you put your mind to it. So thank you very much for watching. I'd really like to know what crazy builds you'd like to come up with if you had all the perfect random enchants down in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you all very soon. Hello everybody, Tommyruin here, and today I'm going to be... Fuck, what am I doing today?